Good morning everyone. This is class 12th, subject chemistry, chapter 7 of NCERT book, P block elements, lecture number 10. In this lecture, I will be discussing hydrogen chloride, oxoacids of halogens, and in the end of this lecture, I will be discussing the homework that I gave you in lecture number 9. So first we start with chlorine. Now first is preparation of chlorine. It can be prepared by many methods. First is by heating manganese dioxide with concentrated hydrochloric acid, chlorine is obtained. This is manganese dioxide. So when we treat manganese dioxide with hydrochloric acid, here we are getting chlorine. Next is in place of hydrochloric acid, we can also use NaCl, that is common salt, along with H2SO4. So if we treat manganese dioxide with NaCl in presence of H2SO4, so this is the other method by which we can prepare chlorine. Next is it can also be prepared by the action of hydrochloric acid on potassium permanganate. KMnO4 is potassium permanganate. So when we treat potassium permanganate with hydrochloric acid, here again Cl2 is obtained. Next method is it is also prepared by electrolytic process. That is, when we do the electrolysis of concentrated NaCl solution, so in electrolysis we have anode and cathode. So at anode, when we do the electrolysis of concentrated NaCl solution, so at anode chlorine is liberated and at cathode hydrogen is liberated. So this is the other method by which we can prepare chlorine. Now next is we can also prepare chlorine by Deccan process. That is, Deccan process is reaction of hydrochloric acid with oxygen in presence of CuCl2. This will act as a catalyst and the temperature is 723 Kelvin. So at this temperature Cl2 is obtained. So these are the methods by which we can prepare chlorine. Now next is physical properties of chlorine. So first is it is greenish yellow gas with pungent and suffocating odor, and it can be liquefied easily into a greenish yellow liquid, and Cl2 is soluble in water. So these are the physical properties of chlorine. Now we will discuss the chemical properties of chlorine. So first is chlorine reacts with the number of metals and non-metals. That is, this chlorine, it reacts with metals as well as with non-metals. Example is when we treat chlorine with aluminium. So here chloride of aluminium is formed, that is aluminium trichloride. Similarly, if we treat chlorine with phosphorus, that is non-metal, so again here we are getting chloride, that is phosphorus trichloride. Second property of chlorine is it has great affinity for hydrogen. That is, it reacts with compound containing hydrogen to form HCl. Here we have hydrogen sulfide. So when hydrogen sulfide reacts with chlorine, so here HCl is formed. Also, when we treat hydrogen with chlorine, so again we are getting hydrogen chloride. So this chlorine has great affinity for hydrogen. Third reaction is reaction of chlorine with ammonia. Now this is one of the important reactions of chlorine. So when we treat chlorine with ammonia, and if we take ammonia in excess, ammonium chloride is formed. But the second case is if we take chlorine in excess, then nitrogen trichloride is formed, and this is an explosive compound. So in reaction with ammonia we have two cases. First is when we take ammonia in excess, at that time ammonia plus chlorine is giving ammonium chloride when ammonia is in excess. But when we take chlorine in excess, at that time NCl3, that is nitrogen trichloride, is formed, and this is explosive compound. So this is the reaction of chlorine with ammonia. Now next property, chemical property, is with dilute and cold alkali. Now when we treat chlorine with sodium hydroxide, that is alkali, and the sodium hydroxide is cold and dilute, at that time product is chloride and hypochlorite. Here we are using sodium hydroxide, so product is sodium chloride and sodium hypochlorite. Now, if we treat hot and concentrated alkali, that is, if the sodium hydroxide is concentrated and hot, and when we react the sodium hydroxide with chlorine, so the product is sodium chloride and sodium chlorate. So these are the two reactions of alkali with chlorine. First is with dilute alkali, dilute and cold alkali, we are getting chloride and hypochlorite. Second case is when we are dealing with hot and concentrated sodium hydroxide, at that time the product is chloride and chlorate. Next chemical property is with dry slaked lime. This is the formula for slaked lime. So when we treat chlorine with dry slaked lime, so bleaching powder is formed. So this is the reaction of chlorine with slaked lime. Next property is chlorine also react with hydrocarbons, that is, in case of saturated hydrocarbon, that is CH4, which is a saturated hydrocarbon. So when we treat saturated hydrocarbon with chlorine, so here we are getting substituted product, that is, one of the hydrogen is replaced by chlorine and methyl chloride is formed in case of this reaction. Whereas if we take unsaturated hydrocarbon C2H4, that is ethene, and when we treat this unsaturated hydrocarbon with chlorine, so here we are getting addition product, and this chlorine, it will add across this double bond. This is the formula for ethene, C2H4. Now when we treat this ethene with Cl2, so what will happen? This Cl2 will add along this double bond, and here we are getting saturated compound, that is 1,2-dichloroethane. So these are the reactions of chlorine with hydrocarbons. Next is chlorine water. When standing for a long time, it loses its yellow color. Chlorine, when we dissolve in water, the color is yellow, but standing for a long time, it loses its yellow color due to the formation of HCl and HOCl, that is hypochlorous acid, and this HOCl decomposes to give nascent oxygen, which is responsible for oxidizing and bleaching properties. That is, chlorine water is used for oxidizing and bleaching properties. First reaction is this chlorine is used for oxidizing ferrous sulfate to ferric sulfate. Here the iron is present in +2 oxidation state, so this chlorine, it will oxidize this +2 oxidation state to +3. Here the oxidation number of iron is +3. So the Cl2 oxidizes from +2 to +3. Next is again when we have SO2, so this sulfur dioxide is oxidized to sulfuric acid. Similarly, we have reaction with iodine. When we treat iodine with Cl2, so HiO3 is formed and HCl is formed. Now next property is Cl2 is a powerful bleaching agent. This is the reaction Cl2 plus H2O, and when stands for long time, HOCl, that is hypochlorous acid, forms, which release nascent oxygen, and this is responsible for the bleaching action. That is, bleaching action is due to oxidation. For example, if we have colored substance plus oxygen, so here we are getting colorless substance. So this chlorine is a powerful bleaching agent, and bleaching action is due to oxidation. So these are the chemical properties of chlorine. Now next is uses of chlorine. So the first use of chlorine is for bleaching wood pulp, that is required for the manufacture of paper and rayon. So chlorine is used for bleaching purpose. Next is it is also used in dyes, drugs and organic compounds. For example, CCl4, which is an organic compound, so this chlorine is used in the manufacture of these compounds. CCl4, carbon tetrachloride, chloroform, etc. Chlorine is also used in the preparation of poisonous gas. COCl2, which is known as phosgene, CCl3NO2, which is known as tear gas, and ClCH2CH2S, CH2CH2Cl. This is mustard gas. So chlorine is also used in the preparation of poisonous gas. So this is all about chlorine. Now next we start with hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride. The preparation of hydrogen chloride is, in laboratory, it is prepared by heating sodium chloride with concentrated sulfuric acid. So this is the reaction. NaCl plus H2SO4 at 420 Kelvin is giving NaHSO4, that is sodium hydrogen sulfate along with HCl. Now when we treat this sodium hydrogen sulfate with NaCl at 823 Kelvin, so here we are getting sodium sulfate and HCl, and this HCl gas can be dried by passing through concentrated sulfuric acid. So this is the preparation of hydrogen chloride. Now next is physical properties. So hydrogen chloride is a colorless and pungent smelling gas and is extremely soluble in water. It is also easily liquefied to a colorless liquid and freezes to a white crystalline solid. Now next is chemical properties of hydrogen chloride. So first is, when we dissolve hydrochloric acid in water, it will form H3O positive and Cl negative. And the value of dissociation constant is 10 to the power 7, which is a very high value, which signifies that HCl is a strong acid, and the solution, that is its aqueous solution, is known as hydrochloric acid solution. Being strong in nature, it will dissociate into H positive and Cl negative, and this water, it will accept H positive ions, and therefore it will form H3O positive and Cl negative. Next is, hydrochloric acid also reacts with ammonia, and the reaction is NH3 plus HCl. So here ammonium chloride is formed and white fumes are released when we treat ammonia with hydrochloric acid. Now third thing is, when three parts of concentrated HCl and one part of concentrated HNO3 are mixed, this mixture is known as aqua regia, and this aqua regia is used for dissolving noble metals like gold and platinum. So when we mix one part of HNO3 with 3 parts of concentrated HCl, that mixture is used for dissolving gold and platinum. Here are the reaction. This is the symbol for gold, Au, H positive, NO3 negative, Cl negative. So in the presence of concentrated HCl and HNO3, it will form AuCl4 negative. That is, this mixture is used for dissolving this gold, and this will form a soluble complex. Similarly, we have the reaction with platinum. With platinum, the complex is PtCl6 2 negative. So this mixture is used for dissolving noble metals like gold and platinum. Next chemical property is, hydrochloric acid decomposes salts of weaker acid, carbonates, hydrogen carbonates and sulfides. The reaction is when we treat sodium carbonate with HCl. So here sodium chloride is formed, and along with sodium chloride, water and carbon dioxide is released. Similarly, if we have sodium hydrogen carbonate, so again here we are getting NaCl along with water and CO2. In case of sulfides, when we treat sulfides with HCl, so again NaCl is formed, H2O and sulfur dioxide is released. So these are the chemical properties of hydrogen chloride. Next is uses of hydrogen chloride. So hydrogen chloride is used as a laboratory reagent and in the manufacture of ammonium chloride. So this is all about hydrogen chloride. Next we will discuss the oxoacids of halogen. So next is oxoacids of halogens. For fluorine, only one oxoacid is possible, that is due to the absence of d orbital, it cannot expand its octet, and therefore only one oxoacid is possible, that is HOF, which is known as hypofluorous acid. Next is oxoacids of chlorine. So chlorine has number of oxoacids: hypochlorous acid, chlorous acid, chloric acid and perchloric acid. Next is oxoacids of bromine: hypobromous acid, bromic acid and perbromic acid. And the last is oxoacids of iodines are hypoiodous acid, iodic acid and periodic acid. Now we will discuss the structure of oxoacids of chlorine. So first is HOCl, that is hypochlorous acid. Now in this oxo acid, the oxidation number of chlorine is +1 and the structure is chlorine has 7 valence electron. So 1 electron it will use for the formation of bond with oxygen, and 3 lone pair of electrons are present on chlorine. So this is the structure of HOCl. Next is HOClO, or you can write in the form of HClO2. Here the oxidation number of chlorine is +3 and the structure of HClO2 is, on chlorine it has 1 OH bond, 1 chlorine oxygen double bond and 2 lone pairs are present on chlorine. So this is the structure of HOClO, or you can say HClO2. Third structure is HOClO2 or HClO3, that is chloric acid. So in this case chlorine is in the center. Now on chlorine 1 lone pair of electron is present, 2 chlorine oxygen double bonds are present and 1 OH bond is present. And the oxidation number of chlorine in HClO3 is +5. Next oxo acid of chlorine is HOClO3, or you can say HClO4. Here the oxidation number of chlorine is +7 and the structure of HClO4 is that 3 chlorine oxygen double bonds are present and 1 OH bond is present in this structure, and no lone pair is present on chlorine. So these are the oxo acids of chlorine. So after doing this you can solve NCERT in text question number 29 and 30 and NCERT exercise question number 26, 29, 32 and 34. Now I will be discussing the homework of lecture number 9. First question is, why are halogens strong oxidizing agent? And the answer for this question is, halogens, they easily accept 1 electron to form stable noble gas configuration, and the value of standard reduction potential for halogens is positive. That is why they are strong oxidizing agent. Next question is, write the reaction of F2 and Cl2 with water. And the answer is, F2 when reacts with water it will oxidize water to oxygen, whereas in case of chlorine, when we treat chlorine with water, HCl and HOCl is formed. So this is question number 28. Now next question is, what are the oxidation state of phosphorus in the following? So first is H3PO3. So here we want to calculate the oxidation number of phosphorus. So it is assumed to be X. Now here we have 3 hydrogen atom and the common oxidation state of hydrogen is +1. So 3 into +1 plus, now here we have 3 oxygen and the oxidation number, the common oxidation state of oxygen is -2. So 3 into -2, that will be equal to 0 because this molecule is neutral. This compound is neutral. Now when we solve this, the value of X comes out to be +3 and therefore the oxidation number of phosphorus in H3PO3 is +3. Now next is PCl3. So again we assume the oxidation number of phosphorus is X and the Cl, it has -1 oxidation state. So for 3Cl it will be -3, that will be equal to 0. So X comes out to be +3. Now next is we have Ca3P2. Now again we will assume the oxidation number of phosphorus is X. Now here we have 2 phosphorus atom. So it is 2X plus, here we have 3 calcium, and for group 2 elements, that is calcium is a group second element and the common oxidation number for group 2 element is +2. So calcium oxidation number is +2 and here we have 3 calcium, so it is 3 into +2, that will be equal to 0. So when we solve this, X comes out to be -3. So in Ca3P2 the oxidation number of phosphorus is -3. Now next is Na3PO4. Similarly we can calculate here, the oxidation number of phosphorus is assumed to be X. For group 1 elements, that is alkali metals, the common oxidation state is +1, so 3 into +1, and for oxygen it is -2, and here we have 4 oxygen atoms, so it is 4 into -2, that will be equal to 0. So the value of X comes out to be +5. Now fifth is POF3. So again we will assume the oxidation number of phosphorus is X. For oxygen it is -2. For fluorine it is -1, and here we have 3 fluorine, so 3 into -1, that will be equal to 0. So again the oxidation number of phosphorus comes out to be +5. Next question is, arrange the following in order of the property indicated. First is increasing bond dissociation enthalpy F2, Cl2, Br2 and I2. This is the order, increasing order of bond dissociation enthalpy. I2 has the least bond dissociation enthalpy, whereas Cl2 has the highest bond dissociation enthalpy. And this we have discussed in our lecture. Next is increasing acidic strength HF, HCl, HBr, HI. So this can be explained on the basis of HX bond strength. HI bond is weakest bond, and therefore the proton can be easily released from HI. That is why the acidic strength is HF has least acidic strength and HI has most acidic strength, and this is the increasing order of acidic strength. Third part is increasing basic strength of NH3, PH3, ASH3, SBH3 and BiH3. These are the hydrides of group 15, and when we move from nitrogen to bismuth, the basic strength decreases. That is, this is the order for basic strength, and this can be explained on the basis of size and electron density present on central atom. So on nitrogen, due to small size, the electron density on nitrogen atom is much higher than that of bismuth. As a result, nitrogen in NH3 donate its lone pair of electron, or you can say that the tendency to donate lone pair of electron from nitrogen is higher as compared to BiH3, and that is why NH3 is the most basic and BiH3 is the least basic. So these are the questions I gave you in lecture number 9.